Hi, my name is Taya Wilson, and I am doing the popular culture and bias against voodoo. And I chose this particular topic because, as a Christian American, a lot of times we um, are taught biases because of that belief that we have. And so I wanted to deal with that and kind of find out some new information. And so I'm excited to share with you that today. Um, and so let me start by explaining what is Africana Religious Studies. So Africana Religious Studies is a field of study that analyzes the religious, spiritual, philosophical, political, historical, and social orientations of African and African descendant people around the world. Here I have included a map of the slave trade, and you can see where the African the diaspora is spread out from the continent of Africa. Africana religious studies originates in Africa, but is not solely based in Africa because of the diaspora being spread out due to colonization and slavery. And so here you can see the various portions that are shown here. We're in South America, Brazil, the Caribbean, North America, and Europe, as far as due to colonization and the slave trade. One of the things that I did find out that was interesting, that did change and reshape a perspective I had, is that there are more Black or brown descendants in South America and the Caribbean as opposed to North America. And previously, I had a position or perspective thinking, oh, that America had this. And so it was refreshing to learn something different in regards to that. I started out by trying to uh, break down the terms by popular culture and bias to get a better understanding and position of what it means to have a popular culture bias against voodoo. So this particular term I did receive from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and it's popular, meaning general public, suitable to the majority, or frequently or widely accepted, most common, likely. You see the definition here of bias, which is to give a settled and often prejudiced outlook or to apply a slight negative or positive voltage to something. Um, and when you group that in terms with culture, which is the customary beliefs or social forms and material traits of a race, religions, or social group or characteristics, you can kind of get the understanding of forming religious racism comes from because Africana religions are held apart because of their traditions, rituals, and because of the participants, meaning the Black or Brown people who engage in the rituals. Here I kind of included the chart to show the popular belief, and this is a current as opposed to back into the early uh, 15, 16, 17, 1800s. This is current, and we see here where even today, the popular culture is for religious belief is Christianity, which is the 31%. And you see where next is Muslim, Hindu, unaffiliated, and then Buddhist. And you also have folk religions, which is where the Africana religions falls into place. Because the folk religions are those that are based off of cultures or other practices, and it does group primarily the Africana religious studies in that. And so I wanted to share that as well, so that get an understanding on what that looks like and what that's about. And I feel like this chart is something that is beneficial because it kind of shows where the viewpoint for popular culture comes into play. What is religious racism? It is the discrimination against African-based religions in more than the prejudice against a faith or group of faiths at the intersection of religious tolerance and racism. And that is based on our book from Banning of Black Gods with Danielle Boaz. Why is Africana religious studies important? I believe that Africana religious studies is important because it helps reshape perspectives, i.e., as I just explained with one of mine, understanding that North America is not the center of where even African people primarily were relocated to. It is other areas, Caribbean and South America. So Africana religious studies are important because it changes the perspective and the mindset. Without the studies of the religious studies, I think that we would continue to walk around in ignorances and misconceived notions of where uh, the divide is instead of understanding and accepting the different various religions that are out there. How has religious racism impacted voodoo? One of the ways that I believe that religious racism has impacted voodoo is because voodoo is a religion that stemmed out of Benin, the African Dahomey, thus, and even the term voodoo, meaning I believe it is spirit. We're not understanding what that term means, and so coming from there, and then being dispersed to the different places that the African slaves went to. One of the particular areas was Haiti, and Haiti, we know that is the first freely liberated Black country nation. And as a result of this practice of voodoo that was associated with a meeting prior to the breaking out to the uprising, which led to the Haitian rebellion, at, i.e., the liberation of the Haitian slaves. Voodoo was banned and was shunned by the Catholic Church, which actually was kind of hypocritical because some of the practices of voodoo can also be attributed to the blend of the Catholicism as well as the different African kind of religions. And so for the Catholics to withdraw, and then also the French, you had some of the other cultures that kind of didn't withdraw and was refusing to trade. And so it helped to establish Haiti as one of the uh, poorly economic countries. And so I believe that the state of Haiti as it currently is economically is a result of the religious racism of voodoo there, because of the fact that of refusing trade. Even places such as Cuba did not want to trade with Haiti. And so North America didn't want to trade. And because of that, we see the um, the impact of economically that it made. What do I think is important for people to remember about voodoo? I just want people to understand that voodoo to accept it as a religion, right? I think that that's an area that we can begin to make a subtle change, not to think of it as devil worshiping or demonic, but actually acknowledge that it's a religion and therefore should be allowed to be practiced throughout, not just in particular areas, but throughout the world, as with what the UN is stating that it should be freely practiced and without the prejudice of people or the intolerant. And so one of the important things that I really would like to see people to understand about voodoo is that it is a religion, that it does have a sacred part to it, as opposed to the secular, that even though it is a primarily oral tradition without the written doctrine, that it is something that is accepted and important to the devotees that practice. And so, for us to desecrate that which is sacred to them is not a form of honoring just humans in general. And so I would like to allow us to just accept voodoo. Um, and so that is my presentation. I had some other clips I wanted to include, but for some reason it wasn't being allowed to. And so thank you for your time, and hope you enjoy. Thank you.